Today I want to talk about two things that if you don't keep on them can ruin the enjoyment of your big box bike. You might have just bought a budget bike, but if you don't keep on these two maintenance items, and they're two things that almost everyone overlooks, you can turn your affordable fun into a costly adventure unless you know how to do it yourself, and there's some specialty tools involved. Let me get right to it, and I know I just said big box bikes. This isn't just on big box bikes. This is entry-level mountain bikes from a bike shop as well. And we're going to go down here to the crank set. We're going to look right here in the middle because there's a bolt that holds this on. And this is what's called a square taper crank set. I don't know if you're going to be able to see right in the middle there. You see that shaft coming out? Well, that shaft is actually square on the end. And this crank arm bolts into the middle of that square. And the crank arm itself, it's round here where that bolt is. But if you take the bolt out and look at it, well, that's square too. And it actually slides onto that bottom bracket, onto that square taper. And it gets its name square taper because it's not only square, but that shaft is tapered. And this crank arm slides onto it, and then this bolt affixes it. But the thing about a square taper crank arm is that it will loosen over time. And this has to be tightened down to at least 35 Newton meters on most bikes with the alloy crank arm and the steel square taper that it's bolting into. You overlook this one simple thing, keeping this bolt, and there's one on the other side for the other crank arm. And if it loosens, you'll start getting a creak noise. If you've been riding your mountain bike and it's been fine, and all of a sudden you start getting this weird creaking sound when you're pedaling, that's likely this bolt almost always. This bolt coming loose. And again, there's one on the other side, just like this one. If this comes loose and you don't address it fast enough, it will wallow out. And remember, this is aluminum alloy that's sliding onto steel. If there's any play here, what do you think is going to give? That square that's cut into this aluminum alloy is going to wallow out, and then you'll never be able to get it tightened back down. It's eventually going to wallow itself out, that it'll ruin the crank arm. And it happens faster than you can imagine. And it's not a standard bike tool size. If you have most multi-tools that you get for a bike, the largest hex won't fit in there. It requires, I think it's an 8mm. I'll put the size on your screen. But this needs to be checked. And it tightens righty-tighty. And the general rule for me, if I don't have a torque wrench and I'm needing to set it, kind of get it to this offset point here, and I squeeze down with my palm while I'm gripping the crank arm. And if I can move it, it's loose. If I can't move it, then it's fine. Check this and check it regularly. If you do not, you will ruin your crank arm and then have to buy a new crank arm set. And they don't come just one. You have to buy the set and do both. And getting this off requires a specialty tool that isn't as simple as this. It is a very bike-specific tool. I'll link to one down in the description, the one that I use. But you have to have a special tool to remove these. So keep it tight. I mean, all you have to have is the one hex wrench and periodically check it. Again, my little trick, just get it to where I have this offset. You see that? And I can grab with 2 fingers or even 4 fingers and use my palm and just squeeze very, very tightly. And if it doesn't move, I'm good to go. If it moves, it was loose. You don't want it loose. It'll ruin your crank arm. Ruin a day and require a repair on a bike. And while we're here, we'll get to the number 2 thing that people don't check, a regular maintenance item on a bike, and that's the pedals. I have replaced the pedals on this. On this Axom Comp X, the only thing this really requires is new pedals to ride out on a mountain bike trail. I mean, technically you could ride with the ones that it comes with, but your feet are going to slip around. So I've put these, I think these are Fukers that I've put on here. No, those actually aren't Fukers. I'll see if, oh, these were the ones I think I bought on sale and no longer exist. Well, any good budget mountain bike pedal that gives grip is fine. But pedals have to be tightened on and they can periodically work themselves loose. Check this nut. You can use an open-end wrench. Ideally, you will have a pedal wrench. There's a specific bike tool pedal wrench that's thin and it fits in here. It fits on every pedal. It's fine. But on this one, fortunately, they gave some room here. So you can get in a regular open-end wrench. So check your pedals, check the crank arm. I mean, really check this, and hey, these too. I have known people, I've ridden with people that wallowed out this and ruined and needed a new crank arm. I mean, once this goes, there's no fixing it. The fix is a new crank arm, just like if you wallow that out. And this is kind of the same but different. This has steel going into the aluminum alloy, where here we have the aluminum alloy going onto the steel. but both will work themselves loose. Both. Periodic maintenance items, and if you're not doing them, you're going to set up for problems. Two problems that can require repairs, and require repairs faster than you can imagine if they're not put on properly. And this one specifically, I can't count the number of bikes, bike shop bikes included, that right out of the gate and or within a month of riding, this needed to be tightened down. So check these two things, ensure that your bike stays healthy and you have fun with it for years to come. Comment below if you've ever experienced either of these problems. Thanks for watching and have a great day.